Trucker J. Let's get into it, man. You see the topic? You know what I mean? Baby mamas keeping the kids away from the father, even though he paid child support or pays child support. Make that make sense. It has happened to me on 3 separate occasions in life. These 3 women don't know each other. 2 of them heard of each other because they're from the same town, and then the other one is from out of town. And the same play was made between these 3 women. Like I told you, in my life, I learned everything the hard way. You know what I mean? Losing my mother, rest her soul, when I was 10 and a half. So I was off the porch ever since then, doing stuff promiscuous, doing all kinds of things. Had my first seed, meaning child, at 17 years old. Not ready to be a father, but you know, when you're doing grown people things, comes grown people responsibilities. And doing the right thing. It was my first child. You know what I'm saying? I was happy. I was proud. I had a son. I said, I'm going to teach him how to play ball like me, walk tall like me, be strong like me. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't given that opportunity. So let's see. My son is born. The mother was like 25. Teresa was like 25 years old at the time. So what you call that? If you reverse those roles, right? And the man is 25 and the baby mom and the baby mama is 17, your ass getting the cuff slapped on. Facts, right? You going to jail, right? Obviously that didn't happen to her. I was 17. Matter of fact, I was 16. He was born when I was 17. So I was messing with the chick when I was 16 and a half. And she in her 20s. Make it make sense. But you know, it is what it is. So moving along, we break up. But me being a man, I had another girlfriend, right? So I was doing what I was supposed to do. I showed up when I got the call that she was, about to give birth. I showed up. Um, did I show up with my girlfriend at the time? Yeah, I did. I did because at that particular time I wasn't driving. She had a car, but at least I showed up. I was there to see the birth of my son. And then this is the crazy thing, right? She gives birth. My girlfriend waited in the waiting room, right? So like when a baby's born and they have them in that like that see-through whatever it is, like a rolling cart or whatever. So my girlfriend wanted to see him, so I bring him in there. We sitting there, I'm playing with him. She wasn't holding him. I gave my baby mom that much respect. I didn't let the girlfriend at the time hold my son. I let her visually see him, but not hold him. Whatever, man. What's good? I'm in Georgia, bro. Um, so she visually seen him, didn't touch him. All of a sudden, my BM's sister come flying in there. She snatched the cart. I'm like, yo, what you doing? Damn near shook the baby to get him away from my girlfriend. I was like, yo, this is crazy, man. A man trying to do what he's supposed to do, and I'm 17. I could have been on some type of time like, man, I ain't showing up for that. But I'm 17 doing grown man things, thinking I'm doing the right thing. I show up for the birth of my son. My girlfriend had to bring me. I wasn't driving. You know what I mean? Because I was one of them ones. I was tall for my age. At 14, I'm already 6'1", 6'2". So I dealt with the older crowd. You know what I mean? Um, so I dealt with older women that was older than me. And like I said, she was 20. She was like 24, 25, dealing with his shit. He was born. All right, so I'm 17, dealing with a 17-year-old. Make it make sense. And then we broke up, whatever, blah, blah, blah. moved on, got a new girlfriend. She brings me to the hospital. Now, fast forward, right? Doing what I'm supposed to do. It's my father's first grandchild. If I didn't have it, my father did it. You know what I mean? My BM fell on hard times. She couldn't have a place for her head and my son's head. So look what I did. You know what I mean? I took my son in right before basketball season. My sister was living with us, so she would watch him during the day while I was in school. This is senior year while I was in school. You know what I mean? And when I got out of school, I took over. You know what I'm saying? Right before basketball season. So he was living with us for like at least 5 months. I had my son being a grown man, being responsible at 17, without a mother's guidance, because she been gone since I was 10 and a half. And my pops was always at work. But like I said, if I didn't have it, my dad had it. You know what I mean? The BM was so jealous of the girlfriend. So let me get it right. Okay, she gets on her feet. She gets an apartment. I'll say rightfully so. She gets her son back. You know what I'm saying? So I give her my son back. And basketball season was about to start, so I ain't have I couldn't watch him anyway. And then it's like she basically fell off the map. I'm like, yo, I found out where that one apartment was, and then like what she would do because she lived 40 miles away, and my dad worked in the town she lived in. She would drop him off at my dad's job, and my dad would bring him on a Friday, and then bring him back Monday morning, and she pick him up from my dad's job. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do with my son. You know what I mean? Time goes on. She moves because she's still jealous that she can't have me, right? So when the BM can't have you, okay, he said I'm in Ohio, no doubt, no doubt. Whatever, man, no doubt. Be safe, man, if you driving. So she she's still jealous because I got a new girlfriend and she can't have me. This is where she keeps my son away from me, right? And I'm like, where's the fairness with this? If I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, buying them stuff, watching them every other weekend, trying to be a dad, and now I'm 17, and at that time it was about 2 years later where she started acting up. Now I get the new girlfriend pregnant. Now I'm 19. I get the new girlfriend pregnant. Guess what this broad gonna tell me? She gonna say, "Oh, I'm not letting another mouth take money out of my out of my child's mouth." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "Oh, you got another baby on the way. I'm taking you to court for child support." This is where I'm leading to. This is where the child support come into play. If the father's already doing what he's supposed to do, why would you take him to court for child support? Make that make sense. Make it make sense. Why would you take him to court for child support? Right? Okay, so we go to court. Now, this is where the baby moms be so bitter and grimy. She gonna tell the judge that I never did nothing from day one, knowing that my father, if I ain't have it, my father did it. Blatant lies, right? Now, this is how I ended up with an arrearage. This is where it's not fair at. She lied to the judge, said I never did anything. Judge gonna ask me, well, do you have any receipts? Who thinks to keep receipts if that's your child and you doing for them? So guess what they did off the rip? They slapped 3 years of arrearage on me because he was 3 years old. But I was doing what I was supposed to do. So that's another unfairness that men go through. So now I told the judge, I said, look, we used to have an agreement that I would see my son every other weekend. I said, I don't even know where she live at. Like, she won't let me take my son. Guess what the judge gonna tell me? This is why the game is rigged, people. He said that's not a child support matter. That's a matter for probate court. Probate court. So you mean to tell me now I gotta go to a probate court? I said, man, I'm not doing all that, man. It's either she gonna let me see him or not. So the judge, he kind of tried to look out. He was like, man, you gotta let him see his son. That shit went in one ear and out the other. You feel me? So basically, time goes on. I'm paying my child support because they taking it out of my check at the time I was working and not seeing my son. She done moved out of state. You know that's illegal, right? They can't if you're in a child's life, they can't just move away without permission. She moved to Bmore. So now my son is about 5 or 6 and I'm not seeing him no more. And I'm like, yo, this is fucking crazy. I said, yo, I'm paying this child support every week. But now she don't move to Bmore. Now I really can't see him because we like 7 hours away from each other. But let me fall behind on that child support. Like say if I'm in between jobs, they dragging me in court. She don't even have to show up. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm like, where's my rights at? She just removed my son from me, and I can't see her no more. All because we not together. Because I got a new woman and a new kid, and she told me she was gonna do this shit. She was like, watch, I'm gonna take your ass to court. You think another kid gonna get the money that my son's supposed to get? I'm like, this is crazy. So moving along, the next year it's the same thing. I'm not seeing my son. I had a mutual homie. Now she moved back from Bmore back to the next town from the town I'm living in. So like not even 10 minutes. So I'm like, all right, she back. You know what I mean? I'm hearing the rumors. I'm like, all right, she back. My man Rob knows her new man. She got a new man and a new kid. Now she got a kid. So I'm like, all right, well maybe she'll have a heart because she got a daughter by another dude. Maybe I can see my son. Same results. I said, yo, Rob, talk to her man because y'all both work at Comcast together and see what's up. I said, matter of fact, have boy come by the crib. I met the boyfriend. Now I'm telling him, I said, despite on whatever she told you, bro, child support gets paid every week. They take it out my check. And if you don't pay it, they suspend your license. So you gotta pay it. You gotta pay it. You know what I mean? So he's like, all right, I'm gonna see what I could do. You know, she's kind of stubborn. I said, man, I just want my son, man. I just want to be able to get my son on the weekends. He was like, all right, but I can't promise you nothing, right? Fast forward, my son is 30 some years old, man. Fast forward, I didn't the child support, I done aged out. Like I done paid the child support all those years. Never got to see my son again, man. Until Facebook and all that shit started coming out. And I was able to see him from afar, man. Where's the fairness in that? But I had to pay that child support because up north, I don't know what it's like everywhere else. If you don't pay, your ass getting locked up. And I never got locked up for child support. Ever. So this is where it leads to why I had no choice but to hustle back then. Because the job wasn't paying enough. And I was able to finesse the game. Let me give y'all some game if you're paying child support right now. Long as you pay a lump sum within 90 days, they can't lock you up. Man, them people used to send them letters to the crib. Or I have a stack of money put to the side. Go get the money order. I'm like, watch. And they'll set up a court date. They're going to set up a court date now. So I go to court. And you know how they got the lady in there, or whoever, the man, whoever it is, their representative. He's like, if you don't pay anything, um, you might get locked up today. I said, I got you. Pull out the money order, 2,500. Bang. He looks at it like, oh, okay. This will be good for the judge. When the judge sees this, he's not gonna put you in cuffs. So I started mastering the game because I was in the streets. So you making cash money. You know what I'm saying? Every 90 days or every 2 months, pay a lump sum. I will add it up. The payment was $55 a week, right? So I would add up 55, 55, 55, 55, 4 times a month, whatever. Yeah, 4 weeks, 4 times a month. And then come with that lump sum. So if you ain't working, make sure before 90 days you pay that lump sum. So here's the messed up thing that hurts me to the core. I was a good dad. I was 17. I was young, dealing with a 25-year-old. We broke up, had a new girlfriend. I did what I was supposed to do. If I didn't have it, my dad had it. You kept my son away from me all these years. Now me and my son don't have no relationship. You know what I'm saying? All because of the mom. But he got so much venom against me. And when I tried to explain it to him on Facebook through instant messenger, like what happened, I was young, your mom was older than me. I said, if you reverse that shit, that's statutory rape. If I'm 25 dealing with a 17-year-old, I'm going to jail. You know what I mean? It's different strokes for different folks, I guess. But now it's like me and my son don't have no relationship, man. All because of her. She was getting the child support. Support is support. You might not be getting my physical presence because of your mom's, but I'm still paying the child support. Now he gotta be, because my second son, these are all outside of my home before I met wifey. My second son is already about to be 32. So he gotta be like 35. 'Cause they were like 3 years apart. Yeah, so he gotta be like 35, 36. And we don't have no relationship to this day, all because of her, man. And he has no venom, and they had problems, him and his mom. She kicked him out and all kinds of stuff. But he don't have that same venom for her that he has for me, man. And he knows the true story. And I know there's a lot of dudes out there that's going through the same thing. Now fast forward to the second son. This one I didn't pay child support for, but I had the same results. I cheated. She kicked me out. We broke up. She doing the same thing, and she knows the story. That's the crazy thing. It's like a thing. It's like bitter baby moms. Now I had the same arrangement, but she was mad because that Latina queen I got blows her out the box. You feel me? And my BM is pretty too, but my wife is prettier. So we had an agreement. I ain't even want to see the chick. I said, "Yo, can you pick up my son?" So we had a destination where we would meet because we lived in different towns. So I sent wifey to go get my son and blah blah blah. That went on for about a good 2 years. This was when he was younger. Then after that, the same freaking thing. I'm like, yo, why I can't have my son, man? But this thing, the situation with him, he had a whole bunch of different stepdads. Like she dealt with the hustlers, so she'll deal with one hustler over here that'll fall through. Then she'll deal with this hustler that'll fall through. But she not knowing, I know these dudes just from streets, but not knowing them like that. But I know them from face value. Put it like that. I'm like, don't she know I know this dude? Like, you know what I mean? I've been around him before. We ain't cool. We ain't got no beef. But I'm just like, damn, you mess with everybody. Your box is poison right now. You feel me? But the moral of the story is, that's now my second son. We don't have no relationship. All because of their moms. I tried to go to his graduation. I called him. I said, son, I want to come to your graduation. He was like, all right, dad. He called me back 20 minutes later. My mom don't want you to come. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I said, yo, it's like they force you to stay away from the kid, but then they call you a deadbeat, but won't let you see the kid. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is diabolical, man. And I know a lot of y'all, some of y'all probably going through it. See, mine's they grown now. Now I'm gonna fast forward to the one I had while I was with wifey. She just turned 18. I just finished paying child support for her this past August. Thank you, Lord. And here in Georgia, they cut it at the heels. Once they age out, it's over. So now look, this one was a mistress. This story is different. She knew I had a family at home. She dealt with me, blase, blase, got knocked up. I told her from the gate, I don't want no more kids. Well, she was like, well, this is my family's first grandchild, and we having it, blah blah blah. So I hid it from wifey, which was I could have lost my wife, man. Like this part is, man. How she found out too was crazy. Um, so it's getting closer, and I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I was treating the chick like pure dirt because I did not want another kid, but I still showed up for the birth, still doing what I had to do. It's like this chick wanted me to have two separate homes. Like a lot of these women, man, they be on some shiesty stuff, man. So now it's like I'm playing house at two different homes. During the week, I'm hustling, so I'm over there. I wouldn't stay the night. I'll just go over there for a little bit, come home, go over there for a little bit, come home. And she was cool with that. So I would ask her on a Friday. I'd be like, hey, you know, she got other siblings that she need to get to know. I said, can I bring her home? When she was first born, she let me bring her to the house one time and one time only. After that one time, she had an excuse every time. How does that look? You come over here, you with me, and then you bring her over there. She see you with that other woman. I said that other woman is wifey. What you mean, other woman? You knew who that other woman was when you was sneaking and creeping. You heard? So now I can't bring her. So I dealt with that for 9 years, people. 9 years playing house at two different homes, man. And Shorty was with it. She knew once I leave here tonight, who I'm going home to. And she was cool with that. All the way up until 2014, when I decided to be like, I gotta break this cycle. I gotta break this cycle, man. I'm hurting wifey. You know what I mean? I had to make a decision. So I gave this chick an option. I said, look, we gonna stop what we doing. All I want to be able to do is bring my daughter to the house for the weekend so she could play with her sisters. Because at that time Eli wasn't born yet. No, no, no. Her sisters, yeah, her sisters and her brother Olivia wasn't born yet. So her excuse was every time, I don't want my daughter around that woman. What do you mean? I'm 6'5" at that time, probably like 300, 10% belly fat. You know what I mean? 90% muscle. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to her, and and wifey ain't like that. She'll treat her like she her own. I don't want her around her. So I said, you know what, man? I said, you sure you want to do this? I gave her that last chance. I said, you sure? I said, this been going on for 9 years, and she only been to my house one time. I said, this is crazy. I said, I'm playing house at both houses. I said, I don't want to do this no more. She was like, no, she's not going over there. I said, all right, bet. That's when wifey got laid off with 10 other people. I said, give me 3 months. Did my 1-2, stacked up 25 G's. I said, we out. Guess how grimy I am though. I ain't gonna hold you. I had Shorty get the rental. I had Shorty go down to the we went, cause that's when they be doing it at the dealerships. We went down to the Toyota dealership. I had her rent me a Toyota Tacoma pickup truck. Little did she know, you just rented my destiny. She put it on her name. I paid for it, but she put it on her name. I said, little do you know, you just paid for me because I'm about to be up out of here. I'm leaving up top and I'm coming down bottom with my family. So boom. And I played it right too. Didn't let nobody know I was leaving. Got the rental, came down. We researching houses for rent. I already had the list. We had one in the bag, but that first house, it had a roach infestation. I said, nah, I said we can't take this. So now we depressed, like, damn. That's the one we had in the back. Like they had the paperwork ready to sign. I'm walking around because I used to do pest control back in the day. I'm walking around. I'm like, yo, son. She in there talking to them. They like sign, sign, sign. I hear sign. I'm like, no. Can I talk to you? She like, why? Why? I said, can I talk to you? Man, I look down in the vent because a lot of these places down here, they got central air, so it comes up through the vents. I look down through the vent. I lift that joint up. It was like 100 roaches in there. I said, hell no. I said, I don't care how nice this joint is. I'm not doing it. So I told her, I said, look, come here. So we go in the other room. They in there. The two white dudes in there whispering back and forth. I think they was like, yo, I think they figured it out. Yeah, I figured it out, homeboy. I'm from the projects. I know what them brown things look like. You heard? So look, I'm looking in the. I said, babe, look. She was like, damn. And I mean, this shit was nice. It had the big hot tub, all that. I said, we can't do it. I said, we gonna have to move on. So we went in there and told them. They was like, but I thought y'all came all the way from up north, from New York to. I said, bruh, we'll be back. I said, we gonna go eat breakfast and we'll call you. Then we went to the next house. I was like, I don't like this one neither. So there was one house left. We went down there for 4th of July week. So it was a vacation and a research at the same time. So boom. So now we find this other house and we looked at it, called the lady. She said, oh, I'm gonna give you the combination to the lockbox, open it up. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I said, all this land for only $850? This is back in 2014. I said, yo, I had the bread with me. I called her back. I said, we want it. We want it. She was like, okay. Can you leave it deposit? I said, I sure can. I peeled out 3 months. Bang. She was like, we're gonna have to get a money order, sir. I said, all right, bet. So me and her went, got 3 separate money orders, paid it, came back with the key, the family happy. The whole time, Shorty called on my phone. I ain't answering. I'm like, little do you know, you wanna keep playing games, dangling my daughter like a dog trying to get some meat. I said, bet. I said, I had enough. I gotta break this cycle because it probably would have still been going on to this day, man. Me playing both sides. Or it probably would have got very tragic or whatever. But anyway, so I'm like, so one time I answered, she was like, what's going on? I haven't heard from you. You got the rental? Is the rental good? I said, ain't nothing wrong with this Tacoma pickup truck, sweetheart. We good. I said, I'll be back in a couple of days. You know, I said, I'm making moves right now. You got the key, signed the lease, drove back, started packing. Me and that week was crazy because me and her arguing something serious. Oh, you ain't gonna see her no more. I said, yo, if that's how you feel, I said, that's how you feel. I said, you know what, man? I'm not gonna keep begging you to let me get my daughter for the weekend to play with her siblings because you don't want her around the person you knew I was with when you was fucking with me. When she go to work, you bringing me and my two daughters at the time breakfast. I ain't let her in the crib, but she'll pull up outside near the driveway. I'm like, come on, man. You know the game. You played it. Now, because you got a seed by me, you probably thought I was going to leave home. I wasn't leaving home. But I'm going to take care of mine. Now you want to keep the kid away from me? What kind of shit is this? If I'm willing to be a father and do my responsibilities knowing I screwed up, let me handle that. Couldn't handle it. I know y'all leaving comments. I ain't even got my readers today, but I gotta tell this story because I know there's some brothers out there that's dealing with this, where the baby mom is bitter and they hold the kid like a trophy, won't let you see your kid unless you follow what she wants you to do. If a man is willing to be a father, let him be a father. Why make his life difficult? You already got the law involved, meaning child support. You already got them folks involved. So let me get to the part where it's kind of crazy, man. I'm lucky, man. How wifey found out. I forgot to add that part in. So I had a GS 300, right? Now wifey knows. She knows me. She knows me. Now I don't know if any of y'all can attest. When I was doing my 1-2, at least I protected myself, right? So I used to hide the condom boxes under the spare tire, right? That one day she kept asking, because I mainly used to drive the Lexus and she'll drive the Jaguar. She kept asking, I want to drive the Lex. I want to drive the Lex. I said, yeah, yeah, go ahead, go ahead. not thinking that Shorty gave me a picture, right? You know, the newborn picture, and I put it in my secret hiding spot under the spare tire. Boy, I gotta be real. If I'm gonna be on this joint, I gotta be real. I can't be up here perpetrating fraud, lying to the public. I tell it like it is. Okay, so boom. I come home. Now, I got home probably about 7, 8 in the evening. I see wifey on the couch. I see my I see my two daughters sitting on the rug like, and she got her head and like this. I'm like, yo, what's up? She was like, we need to talk. I'm like, what we need to talk about? What's going on? I just got home. She took the picture and put it on the couch. Is your child? And then she just stormed upstairs and slammed the door. I said, I'm cooked. I said, I might as well start packing. It's over. I said, I'm done. But this woman, man, you know, women do endear a lot of shit from us. But this woman, man, I gave her time. The next morning, she was like, and it was like a Friday. So the next morning, I wasn't working anyway. I was hustling. The next morning, we at the kitchen table. She was like, we just need to talk about this. She was like, I'm gonna need you to be there for this child. Like, it shocked me. She was like, I'm gonna need you to do the right thing. And I told I said sorry and all that. I shed a little bit of tears because I heard her. You could see the hurt in her. I'm like, damn, bruh, you screwed up. But she said, I'm gonna need you to be there for your child. I said, I am trying to be there for her too. And that's when I said it led to I'm playing house at two different houses. And Shorty was with it. Long as I put my time in with her and go to a music, this shit was crazy, bro. This like a lifetime story. Long as I play house and go to amusement parks and go to family outings with her, so she got her family thinking I'm him, not knowing him got a family at home. This diabolical, but it's the truth. So I'm playing house in two spots. Go over there, we go do whatever, take her to the park, take her here, take her there to the zoo, do this, do that. At the end of the night, she go to sleep, bang, bang, boom. I go home at like 1, 2 in the morning. You know what I mean? Crazy. Some narcissistic shit right here. I admit. Narcissist. Yes, that's some narcissistic stuff. But Shorty was with it though. That's the thing. See, you can't cry wolf when you was down with the program. This is about 8 years in, because on the ninth year, that's when I made my move and moved down here. And I've been paying child support all the way up until she turned 18 this past August. And they stop it. See, I like Georgia. There's no continuance. There's no cause she's in college. Cutthroat. So look, this is where it's unfair too. During the 11 years I've been here, I've been begging and asking and pleading. Can I get my daughter for the summer? It was always no. No. I'm like, yo, we ain't together. You doing you. We 1,000 miles away from each other. Why I can't get my daughter? I'm paying child support. They taking it out of my check. No, I don't want her around there. I say, yo, you crazy. Then she gonna tell me, okay, under one condition, you would have to rent a hotel. Crazy, right? She said I'm gonna have to rent a hotel for a week. She can't stay at my house, but her sisters and brother is there. Like, I'm like, yo, man, you can't control what I want to do with my child, bro. This shit is crazy. I'm like, yo, this is nuts. How you gonna tell me I gotta get a room for her to stay a week? No, she gonna stay at my house. What you mean? I can't do it. I can't do it. So the whole 11 years I've been here, all the way up until she turned 18, this is another child that I don't have no relationship with because of the bitter baby mom. But then y'all want to call the dads deadbeats when the dad wanna have a child around. You won't let him. But it's okay to get my money. Like, make that make sense. And she got like 100 and something a week because I was only paying for one child. The other ones are grown. So she was getting a bag every month, $500 a month. But I can't get my child for one summer. One summer. 11 years done went by. She done turned 18 and started college. Make it make sense. And I paid child support that whole time and couldn't get my daughter for one summer. But then now look, this is the real messed up part. Now the kid don't want to have nothing to do with you. That they done aged up, and they could have been like, "Oh, now I'm older. Now I can make my own decisions." Because of the brainwashing and how the moms is, you know what I'm saying? They mommy's kids, man. All three of them, three different moms, and all of them did the same fucking